Hello, welcome back to Surface Explorer Record, where we're stepping through building an application using AI. I'm building a task management application. And while I'm doing this, I'm teaching you a three-step methodology that I use as a 40-year veteran developer and engineer. This is the methodology that I use when I work with AI. It's called Surface Explorer Record, where you surface decisions using AI, you explore options using AI, and then you record those options so that you can then give those decision records to the AI in the next phase as you move forward. Currently, we're in the build phase. We've worked through the idea phase where we worked with business and product requirements. We went through the design phase where we designed the UI. We went through the architecture phase where we did the technical decision making. And then the plan phase where we did the implementation plan that we're currently using in the build phase. But now we're in the middle of the build phase. We finished 3 phases so far, and I wanted to show you what you can do and how you can use the Surface Explorer Record methodology when something unexpected comes up. So I'm going to go back to VS Code and Claude Code, and we'll talk about what happened unexpectedly, and then show you some ways that you can handle unexpected events using the 3-step methodology. So let's go to VS Code. Okay, welcome back. Here we are in VS Code and Claude Code is running. And as I told you, I'm going to show you how you can use the Surface Explorer Record methodology to work through something unexpected that happens while you're building your application. Now remember, I'm currently in the build phase. This would work with any of the phases. And the particular unexpected thing that happened here is that I got some notifications from GitHub's Dependabot saying that there had been some dependency updates. Now, I specifically set up Dependabot because I knew that I would get something and I wanted to show this to you as I go through. So Dependabot is something that I've configured. I told GitHub, what I want Dependabot to look for, how I want it to update me. But this could be anything that happened unexpected. So Dependabot is just a way that GitHub checks your repo and looks for any dependency updates and lets you know when they happen. It creates a separate feature branch in your GitHub repo, parallels your code, makes the changes that it thinks it needs to make, and then creates a GitHub PR and says, hey, you need to merge this so that you can take advantage of these updates. But do we want to do that? That's the question. So this is the unexpected thing. And I'm just going to let Claude know right away what happened unexpected. And I'm going to say, hey, some Dependabot PRs landed, and I'm not sure what to do about it, okay? So I'm going to say, I want you to look at where we are currently in the implementation. I want you to look at what the Dependabot PRs are and what does it want to merge. And then I want you to surface any decisions that I need to make before we move forward with this. So what Claude is going to do, and I'm going to let it run because this shouldn't take too long. What Claude is going to do is it's going to look through those different Dependabot PRs, find out what it's suggesting that we change for our dependencies, and it's going to give me a list of those decisions that we need to make. Notice this is the first part of the Surface Explorer Record methodology that we've been using from the beginning, and that is surfacing decisions. So even here, when there is a unknown thing happening, we can say, hey, tell me what decisions I need to make. So now Claude is coming back. It tells me where I am currently in the implementation phase. It says, here are what the Dependabot wants to merge with my code. And it says, here are the decisions. I'm not going to step through each one of those, but notice the first one is a policy for the rest of the build. And you'll often see something like this when something unexpected happens, is that right away you need to set up a policy. What are you going to do when this thing happens next time, not just this time? So what I'm going to tell Claude, just like before, I don't want it to just tell me what the decisions are. I want it to tell me the options for each decision. So I'm going to use a very similar prompt that I've used before. And I'm going to say, now I want you to step through each of these decisions, and I want you to tell me options for each one. Don't just tell me options for all of them, but tell me for each one. And in this is a special case because I don't really have any documentation at this point to track this. So I'm going to tell Claude, let me know how I should track it. Do we need to record this decision for later, or do we just need to act on it now? So again, I'm going to kick Claude off. It'll go to the first decision, tell me options, and then we'll go from there. So since it's already coming up with the first decision, I'll wait just a few seconds for that to finish. And as that goes, notice it's already given me options, an eager merge. I could just handle all of the PRs automatically. I could batch them weekly. I could freeze until a phase boundary. So what this means is that, like right now, I'm at a phase boundary between phase C and phase D, so I could freeze anything until a phase boundary, like I'm doing here. Are going to do a hybrid, freeze majors, take security, and patch minors as they come. So I like D. I like the idea of if it's something that is minor, then we could probably go ahead and do it. If it's something major, then we want to wait. And notice that is what the hybrid is. Also, this takes security very seriously. So if there's a dependency update that's security related, then we would handle that right away. I do want to say though that I like option D, but even then, I want to wait until phase boundaries before merging. Actually, I'm going to say before reviewing and merging. And so let's see what it says. It may come back and say, hey, that's actually what I meant by option D. I just didn't specify it. But that's what I want to say. So, okay. Yep. Option D, gated to phase boundaries. That's what I want to do. Now, notice I didn't just accept the options that the AI gave me. And this is very important. I've talked about this before, but I want to mention it here. Make sure that when you read the options, and you do read the options and especially the assumptions, if there's an option you don't understand, or if there's, you kind of like one option, but you like other parts of the other, chat with your AI about it. Create your own option if need, but make sure that you ask the AI about it. Hey, is this a valid option? If not, let me know why. If so, give me the options for doing things like this. So let's look at the next one. And the next one is enable auto merge for your patch minor green dependencies. Now, I don't like the idea of auto merge. What I like, let's see what it says. Enable auto merge, but only post launch. Defer the question. I don't like auto merge. I want to leave auto merge off. I want to manually merge. I don't want it to just do it for me. I want to talk about it first. So I'm going to say I want to make the decision to merge manually for each one. I don't want auto merge. So again, it's going to come back and make this decision, and also it's going to record it for me. So next time this happens, it knows, and that way, when Dependabot comes back next week and says, "Hey, here's these updates," Claude's going to know, okay, here there's these updates, but the developer doesn't want to auto merge them, so I'm going to bring this up and say, "Hey, or do you want to merge this or not?" So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to go through the rest of these. There aren't many of them, and I'll come back at the end and we'll continue. Okay, just like in the last episode, I want to stop when Claude finds something just to help you understand that sometimes you're in the middle of a process and Claude says, oh, wait, we need to stop. Now, this happened in the middle of merging one of the PRs. Claude came back and said, whoa, wait, there was an issue. The decision was to merge if green, but it isn't green. Notice right here it says the red is pre-existing. So this is an issue that happened before the merge, before Claude tried to merge this Dependabot-based PR. And again, it came up, it gave me options. Do you want to fix it now? Do you want to merge it anyway? Do you want to defer? So I just told it to go ahead and fix it. So Claude is working on fixing that issue. Again, this may change based on what what your project is and what you're trying to do and what you're trying to merge. But I'm just showing you that you use this same process all the way through. Surface the decisions, explore the options, and then record the decision. So I'll come back in a few minutes when Claude is finished. While Claude is running, I thought that I would show you a new feature that came out recently on Claude Code called Agent View. If you're running something like I'm doing here in Claude, you can give it a /bg command background and run this in the background. And what's going to happen now is that you now have a agent view. So I can say Claude agent, and sorry about that, misprint. I can say Claude agents, and I can see what's running here in Claude. So here's my working session that's currently running. Notice I only have one. If there was one that was needing input from me, it would tell me here. But I can even start another task in the background here. For example, I could say review review the, I'm just not going to type, I'll just say review the implementation plan and tell me what's next. So again, notice now I have 2 sessions running. The first one is still handling the Dependabot PRs. The second one is now doing the checking the implementation plan. And so I have one place here in what's called agent view to see what all of my agents are doing, where in the past you would have to have different terminals go from step to step. So this is really, really helpful when you're running multiple sessions of Claude. I don't do that much here in this demonstration for Surface Explorer Record because I want to make sure that you see what's happening. As you can see, the implementation status is already finished, so I can see where I am. And I will just hit the back arrow to go back, and now I can Control X to close this. So once I have it, let me go back to it. I can do Control X and Control X again, and so that one is closed. And now I just have the one running, the still same one. And I'll come back in a few minutes when this is done. Okay, we're back. Claude worked through all of the decisions that we made concerning the Dependabot PRs. We made all of those changes. We've tested everything. And now, though, we want to treat this just like we do any other change to our code. So I'm going to tell Claude, now that we've made all the decisions and we completed all the actions, have all the documentation been updated? Is everything up to date based on the decisions that I made? Remember, part of those decisions was making sure that we were tracking these decisions. Some of them would go into ADRs, some of them would go into the implementation plan. Each decision had a different way to record it, but we wanted to make sure that we recorded all these. So now I'm just having Claude check that. This shouldn't take very long, but if it does, I'll take a break and come back. Okay, Claude is back. You may notice there is some problems in the display there. My guess is this has to do with the agent view that I showed you a little bit earlier, because that is still in preview mode. It's still under construction, but it doesn't seem to be affecting Claude itself. So now Claude came back and said, yes, there are still some updates to the documentation that need to be made. So I'm going to say, go ahead and make all 3 of those, and then also review everything that we've done, compare it to what was already there, and make sure there's no inconsistencies. Remember, we did this last time. We made sure that once we made a change, that everything in the documentation was still consistent with the code. This is very important, and it's something that I want to do here as well. Anytime you make a change, you want to compare it to the documentation, compare the documentation to the code, make sure it's all consistent. If you don't do that, then you're going to start getting gaps, and when you get to the end of the project, your documentation is not going to match your code. So I'm going to stop here for the day while Claude continues running. At the end, I will push everything to GitHub so it will be there and you can see what was updated. But the main point of this episode was to show you how you can use the Surface Explorer record methodology even when something unexpected comes up. In my case, it was Dependabot PRs that needed to be merged into my code because of dependency changes. But in your case, it could be a new feature that comes in, or it could be a new service you learn about. Maybe you decide you want to use a different database. And so you want to give that to your AI and say, hey, what decisions do we need to make before we implement this into our code? So just think about that as you move forward, that this Surface Explore Record methodology, where you surface decisions, explore options, and then record those decisions, can help you all the way through your project, even when something unexpected comes up. Hope to see you next episode.